severe weather forecast discussion for March 12th, 2020. The Storm Prediction Center in the first day 1 convective outlook for 06Z has upgraded to an enhanced risk of severe weather with strong tornado probabilities included, and that's mainly for the cities listed under the enhanced risk area here, including Evansville, Indiana, Clarksville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, areas like that. We're going to be looking at the low-level pressure environment, and we see initially a weak surface low over Kansas and the Central Plains move into Missouri, but become absorbed by a stronger cold front, a polar cold front, which is going to be sweeping through the area, and the surface low, which initiates down here, transitions to a triple point by the time it gets into southern Illinois and Indiana. At that point, it's still going to be producing very strong low-level convergence and pressure falls, so we're still going to be seeing a pressure response in the low levels and increasing flow as a result of that. But also, ahead of the cold front, which we're going to say is right about through here, there's going to be a moisture axis in low levels, the lower troposphere overall, and that's going to lead to some higher CAPE values. The HREF model here is depicting higher values. I hate it when it does that. Higher values moving into the lower Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, Mississippi Valley area through tomorrow afternoon. And that's indicated mainly in this zone here. Now, some of that is also going to spread into southern Indiana and parts of central Kentucky and central Tennessee, and that's why we're going to see some elevated CAPE values in the region. Looking aloft, a very strong, very dynamic jet stream environment is going to be taking place. Obviously, a split flow regime going in through here with jet stream divergence over the Midwest and lower Great Lakes. It's going to be the northern jet, the strongest one, that's going to be responsible for a really strong cyclone up here in Canada, but down here we still have enhanced jet stream dynamics and the resulting dynamics from the divergence going into the Midwest, and that's going to enhance the upper level ascent, the upper level environment ahead of this system. One thing that's really going to be prominent though is the surface pressure response. Whoops, that's bad. And we see here, this is the low-level jet. This is what's going to be intensifying during the 20 to 00Z time frame tomorrow, from 45 to 50, maybe 55 knots. And that's going to obviously lead to an increase in storm relative velocity. But the values that we're expecting later today are going to be significant. And that's going to be a considerable factor playing into the magnitude of the severe weather risk overall. We see here areas from southern Indiana to western Tennessee, northeastern Arkansas could see 0 to 3 kilometer helicity values of between 3 and 600 meters squared per second squared. Effective values still running from 350 to 500 meters squared per second squared. That's going to be leading to an environment that is highly conducive to rotating convective elements, especially with discrete convective modes. And what we're looking at here is a NAM forecast sounding, and I'm placing more confidence in this than the global output because for small scale details the global models tend to underperform. But what we're looking here from this NAM sounding is a thin but very moist profile below about 150 millibars. We're noticing a lot of things here. Very moist effective inflow layer. We're noticing very high composite parameters within a parameter space sufficient for significant severe weather down there in the corner. We're noticing up here the hodograph is very elongated. It's very curved And that's going to be because if we look down here at the wind barbs, we see not only curvature of the flow, but also an increase in magnitude of the flow with vertical extent. And that's going to be leading to a very strong wind shear environment, which is given here effective inflow layer storm relative velocity running over 470 meters squared per second squared, combined with a moderate cape environment. And what the forecast models are depicting right now is going to be a result of that is convection initially over Missouri will spread into parts of the enhanced risk area during the afternoon hours. And this is from the HREF version 2 HRRR output. We see convection developing in Missouri, southern Illinois initially, and then during the late afternoon hours, we really see things blossom over this area here, and it does include parts of this area, especially in some of the other forecast models. And what we're seeing there is discrete convection with high updraft velocity and a strong potential for supercells with tornadoes and large hail, also damaging winds, especially with any convective clusters. There's going to be probably the highest concentration in that area there, but if we also move things along here, I want to point out that additional convection will probably develop farther southward, southwestward along the baroclinic boundary, especially with the increased descent from upper level dynamics and the approach of the polar jet, and none of this is working. There's going to additionally be some convection developing back in through here, so a slight risk of severe weather extended through Arkansas into parts of northeastern Texas to account for the potential for isolated severe weather, although the low-level shear magnitude is considerably weaker there than it is in the enhanced risk area. That is a severe weather forecast discussion for March 12th, 2020.